Registered Phenomena Code 016. Object Class Alpha White. Hazard Types: Ballistic Hazard, Contact Hazard, Transmutation Hazard. Containment Protocols. All RPC-016 instances, save for RPC-016-5, are to be stored in Alpha Storage Locker 30 at Site-002. Direct contact with instances of RPC-016 is not to be made outside of testing, and not without the express permission of the lead researcher. RPC-016-5 is to be contained within standard humanoid living quarters, fed 3 times daily, and provided items requested pending approval by the lead researcher. For a full list of items requested, see Addendum RPC-016-C. Description: RPC-016 is a set of 5 large gray balls, numbered RPC-016-1 through RPC-016-5, each with a diameter of approximately 15 cm. RPC-016's weight of 27.20 kg, consistent in density, weight, and atomic composition with 1060 steel, 0.60% carbon, otherwise pure iron. Upon making direct skin contact with a human hand, instances of RPC-016 will absorb into the body of the subject, and begin the process of replacing their skeletal structure with itself. RPC-016-5 is currently held by a pubescent Caucasian female, age recovered along with RPC-016, hereby designated RPC-016-5A. This process is slow, with the current record belonging to RPC-016-5A, with 50% replacement over the course of 4 years and growing. Subjects report no pain throughout this process, and show no signs of trouble moving, despite the extra weight. Additionally, subjects bonded with an instance of RPC-016 display the ability to pull portions of the object from themselves, and mold it into various shapes. The process of pulling portions of RPC-016 from the body creates 1 cm long cuts in the palm of the dominant hand, which reportedly causes no pain, and heals at 4 times the standard human regeneration rate. This regeneration does not extend to any other wounds. To date, all shapes created by RPC-016 have been in the form of weapons. The cause of this restriction is currently unknown. For more information on weapons formed by RPC-016, and the test logs of their effectiveness, see Addendum RPC-016-A. Addendum RPC-016-A. Test Log. Test 1, August 4th. Subject: RPC-016-1, with CSD-0461, henceforth referred to as Subject. Procedure: Subject will make direct skin contact with RPC-016-1. Results: RPC-016-1 was absorbed into the body of the subject. Subject reported no pain from this process, despite a 1 cm long cut being visible in his palm. Cut healed in 10 seconds. Subject reported a weird, gooey feeling in the palm of his dominant hand, and swiftly demonstrated the same abilities as RPC-016-5, attempting a breach. Subject terminated. RPC-016-1 formed in palm of subject's dominant hand exactly 30 seconds following death. Dr. Notes: The subjects that come into contact with RPC-016 seem to gain intuitive knowledge of its properties and how to use them, but do not gain any sort of skill with weapons manifested. Testing involving CSD-class subjects is to be continued with increased security. Test 2, August 11th. Subject: RPC-016-1, with CSD-0575. Procedure: Subject will make direct skin contact with RPC-016-1, after being informed that attempting a breach will result in termination. Subject will be instructed to attempt to form a sword, a crossbow, and a handgun in sequence. Results: Subject experienced sensations similar to CSD-0461 upon making contact with RPC-016-1. Subject also demonstrated knowledge of RPC-016's functionality. Upon request, Subject created all 3 items in sequence, and when provided with suitable targets, was able to use them as effectively as an average civilian untrained in combat. Testing showed that RPC-016 creates its own ammo, and regenerates itself from an unknown reserve. When testing RPC-016 in crossbow form, Subject demonstrated the ability to pull back the drawstring without touching it, making it appear as if RPC-016 could reload itself. Subject claimed this was due to RPC-016 granting limited telekinetic ability. RPC-016-1 appeared to be extracted willingly by Subject, but during transport, Subject attempted a breach, showing the capability to control RPC-016-1 without any contact. Subject terminated. Dr. Notes: following this incident, CSD class are no longer to be used in testing. If RPC-016-5 is uncooperative, a volunteer from among research staff will become a permanent test subject instead. Research cannot continue when each test comes with an attempted breach. Next test should focus on the telekinetic ability, and where RPC-016 gets additional material for the creation of ammunition. Test 3, August 18th. Subject: RPC-016-5A. Procedure: RPC-016-5A will be requested to form a rifle of its choosing, and fire it until unable to continue. RPC-016-5A will attempt to fire said rifle without touching it. Results: RPC-016-5A showed no hesitation in following instructions, and understood what was requested without needing additional information. Subject displayed that ammunition generated by RPC-016 generates in an infinite or near infinite supply, as testing was stopped after 6 hours of continuous fire. Subject displayed remarkable accuracy for a human of comparable age, and remarked that it had experience. RPC-016-5A also appeared to be fully capable of operating its weapon from a distance of up to 10 meters away, and after additional testing procedures were invented on the spot, was capable of multitasking, producing 2 separate rifles of identical model and firing both at separate targets, though accuracy was shown to fall. RPC-016-5A claimed that this was its limit at the moment, but that RPC-016 can grow the longer it is bonded with a human, and given time, she might be capable of producing 3 or more weapons at once. Dr. Notes: RPC-016-5A is surprisingly cooperative, and shows an extensive knowledge of the inner workings of RPC-016 instances. Reminder to all staff that RPC-016-5A is still dangerous, and to exercise caution around it. Should RPC-016-5A attempt a containment breach, it is to be terminated. Telekinetic ability of RPC-016 is far beyond originally thought. The methods of its generation are still a mystery, and may remain that way. Next test to explore the limits of RPC-016's shape-shifting abilities. Test 4, August 25th. Subject: RPC-016-5A. Procedure: Subject to be shown images of random objects, including weapons, vehicles, common household appliances, and other miscellaneous items. Subject will be requested to create each item presented, using RPC-016. Results: RPC-016-5A seems unable to create objects that are not weapons, but within the category of weapon. Its capabilities are apparently unlimited. Failed objects include kite shield, yo-yo, car keys, book, spoon, boot, helmet, and others. Dr. notes: RPC-016 cannot create objects to defend itself, unless those objects have offensive capability. RPC-016-5A display distress when unable to create an object. This will be examined in further detail in the interview scheduled in place of next test. Testing temporarily suspended. RPC-016-B Recovery Notes: RPC-016 was first discovered on June 22nd in the town of Wisconsin, after a local hospital contacted the authority, citing a young female with roughly a quarter of her skeleton replaced with a metal of unknown make and origin. Further investigations led a rapid response team to the home of where RPC-016 was discovered in its bonded state, with one instance for each member of the family living in the home, including the child reported to the authority. The father of the family, alongside his 3 sons, attempted to fight back against the rapid response team, and were killed. A stray bullet struck the youngest family member in the thigh, revealing that RPC-016 had indeed replaced her femur with metal. The girl was taken into custody, and assigned the designation RPC-016-5A, with the 4 objects recovered from the family designated RPC-016-1 through RPC-016-4. During investigations, the father's computer was discovered to contain notes that state he created RPC-016 via unknown means, as tools for, quote, the revolution, unquote. Details of its creation were not mentioned, and attempts by the authority to replicate RPC-016 have ended in failure thus far. RPC-016-C Request Log. Item requested: better food. Denied. Date requested: June 30th. Additional notes: there is no reason to give the subject more than the standard nutrient-enriched stew. Item requested: 1 Kindle Fire, with The Inheritance Cycle, available to read. Approved. Date requested: July 1st. Additional notes: granted on the basis that boredom might lead to an attempted breach. Subject given a $50 monthly book budget. Item requested: Internet access. Denied. Date requested: July 15th. Additional notes: subject cannot be allowed to contact the outside world. Item requested: better food. Approved. Date requested: August 19th. Additional notes: granted as a reward for cooperation during testing. Subject will be allowed to order food from the same menu as staff. Item requested: a friend. Denied. Date requested: August 26. Additional notes: retrieving another child of the same age as the subject is against authority policy.